Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button. Y'all come in here. Hit the share, subscribe, hit that Cash App, $Slick Rick 1991 Son, and our Venmo at BJ/MATHEWS/1. I'll put that into the comment section after the duration of this video. Let's get popping. All right, so we back at it, man, with another great show for y'all today, man. LA Clipper Talk is back in effect. I'll be going back on StreamYard tomorrow. We'll be going live, so make sure you guys look out for that, man. But I want to talk to y'all on here just to give y'all, continuously have the content updated for y'all every single game. We're going to talk about what happened last night between the Portland Trailblazers and the Clippers. So obviously, we lost the game by 1 point at home in Intuit Dome on a 5-game home stretch. We lost to the Portland Trailblazers 106-105. Came down to a last-second inbound that James Harden threw to Ivica Zubac that was intercepted by DeAndre Ayton. We got a lot to talk about today. Now, the Trailblazers are now 2-3 after that win. We fall to 2-2, and we got the Phoenix Suns tonight back at home in Intuit Dome. So I want to talk a little bit about Portland and the Clippers. First of all, Portland, from what I saw last night, I haven't really watched too much of them. But they just come off as the same, team that, they basically rebuilt their team, and they're starting off with a new core. Anthony Simons, DeAndre Ayton, and you can say Jeremy Grant. That's their core right now. And it looks like since they packaged Dame up and sent him to Portland, or sent him to Milwaukee, and they got him rid of CJ McCollum before that to New Orleans, it just seems now as if, Portland is now in a space where they're comfortable, starting over and starting a new culture. They got Chauncey Billups over there. They're rolling with the team that they have. So they're not going to make no real noise as far as in the postseason. At least I don't think. At least not this year. They're at the bottom of the West. But I do see some of the improvements, since there's more stability. When you have stability on a team, when you know who's going to be here and who's the star, who's the co-star, who's the role players, you're going to have more and more success. It's like going to your job. Like if you have stability to know what your role is, you're going to probably do more. You're going to perform better. That's why I see with Portland. Anthony Simons is their scorer. He had 25 points last night. Anthony Simons, good young talent, but he gets overlooked because Portland's not that good. But he's just really a smaller version of Dame, who was his mentor. Last night I saw him hit clutch three after clutch three, clutch bucket after clutch bucket. Plays just like Damian Lillard. As soon as he dribbles the ball up the court, he asks for a screen, you could just pretty much tell he's going to shoot up and pull up a three-point shot. Same thing Dame used to do. Get into the paint, crafty finishes off of, turn the corner, and good, solid, quick footwork. That's Dame. You know what I'm saying? He will finish, and he'll finish over you if you're not careful. But the thing about Anthony Simons is he's 6'5". Dame was 6'2". So I like watching him play. I like watching, great young talent. He's a 3-tier scorer. I'm excited about his growth. Anthony Simons definitely is not afraid for the big moment as well, just like Dame. So that's what you're working with. That's who they're rolling their future with, Anthony Simons. So we'll see what happens with Portland. DeAndre Ayton had 12 rebounds last night. I think he had 16 points, if I'm not mistaken. And he had the key steal last night against Ivica Zubac, who he always seems to play well up against. And we're gonna talk about that inbound play as well, because I got a lot to talk about as well. But Portland, they basically had the wherewithal to kind of play a little bit more physical with us. I can't remember his name, Ayua. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but, I had to pretty much say it. Him and I think Keegan Murray's brother, I don't know his first name, but it starts with a K. They both were being very physical with our, guards and forwards, and the Clippers kind of had like more of a heavy whistle on their side, which is obviously going to take away with the aggression of the Clippers. But the Blazers took over that. They played with more desperation, more physical, and all that. So, they got the job done. So congrats to the Blazers. But I think when you talk about us, a team like the Clippers, who have pretty much dominated them time and time again over the last few years, you kind of take your foot off the gas. That's what we did last night. We faced a team that's inferior to us historically, and we didn't play how we were supposed to play. Now, let's talk about our team. Let's talk about the Clippers. There's a lot of stuff I need to, break down. We have to establish a few things. And this is why I was telling a lot of people at the beginning of the season, we got to be able to establish the James Harden offense from the LA Clipper offense. We played 4 games, and 4 of those games, 2 of those games, we played through the James Harden offense. Two of those games he played in the Clipper offense. What is the James Harden offense? James Harden is the guy with the ball, point guard, high usage rate, determines who shoots the basketball. More times than not, he's going to get the most shots on the team, first or second. And he's going to take not the best high-quality shots. That's the James Harden offense, where he controls the offense and controls the ball. What is the Clipper offense? The ball moves around, everybody touching the rock, everybody gets touches, everybody plays hard throughout the game, good body language, all that good stuff. That's the Clipper offense that you guys are seeing. And out of these 4 games that I've watched the Clippers, 2 of the games against Denver and Golden State, we played through the Clipper offense, and 2 of those games played in the James Harden offense. Against Phoenix and Portland last night. We got Phoenix again on a back-to-back, but this is what I was saying was going to be an issue if we didn't actually know how to balance the two. So as I'm watching the game last night, we started off the game scored 2-8, letting people touch the rock. And then as time went on, throughout the game got more and more intense, got more physical, with the refs allowing Portland to be more physical than us. When guys' body language started to change, I started seeing the Clipper offense turn into more the James Harden offense. What do I mean by that? First of all, the guy that you guys have been seeing and been dominating for the team has probably been the best player, averaging 22 points, 12 rebounds, and about 60% from the field. Viska Zubac, guess how many shots he had last night? A grand total of 7 shots. Went 2 for 7 from the field at 6 points and had 8 rebounds. That same Viska Zubac y'all said was going to probably be the best center in the first week, top 5. You couldn't even recognize who he was last night. And I'm looking at the TV, I'm like, what's going on? Why is he not getting the basketball? And James Harden, obviously, is the point guard of the team. He is the guy that gets players the ball. So before, when he was setting Harden screens, I'm talking about Zubac, he would get the ball right back. Well, now Harden's saying, well, let me just get the screen from Zubac and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to actually I'm going to probably just shoot this ball time in, time out. So when you fall into that, you have James Harden shoot 18 shots. He goes 6 for 18. You're probably going to have a hard time closing games out, and it's going to probably come down to the wire. My homeboy called me, texting me, talking about, we're going to probably have this game going down to the wire. I'm like, there's no way we should be struggling with Portland. Even though I said all those things about Portland, being a more grittier team and having, some, good positive players. They don't have no real championship playoff DNA. They're not really expected to do much. And when you talk about a Clipper team who has a short margin of error, you can't afford to have the mistakes that we had last night. See, last year we could afford that because we had a more talented team, but this year we don't have that luxury. So when you start having Harden having bad shot selection, 5 turnovers, and not really taking advantage of, a Viska Zubac in the pick and roll situation, that's going to be an issue. And that's why I saw we fell into last night. He had 18 shots. Zubac had 7. Norman Powell had 22 shots. Hierarchy. Zubac should be the starting option, starting the games. Then trickle down to Norman and James Harden. Everybody else comes after that. Why is that? Because Zubac has the highest, more efficiency to make shots, and it's just a better offense where everybody starts to click. Give the ball inside and work on the outside. Stop working from the outside, shooting long 3-point shots, and then trying to go and force feeding it inside. I'm not so sure why they didn't give Zubac the ball enough. Maybe it was because DeAndre Ayton was right there and he was able to, carry and actually, defend Zubac well in the double teams and stuff like that. But even then, I'm not talking about even him shooting and just let him touch the ball. He's not even touching it. So then you get his body language starts, going side to side. He starts arguing with Kevin Porter Jr., which I'm going to talk to y'all in a minute about him as well. But then you start getting just bad body language. And when the big man ain't happy, he's not running the floor. He's not rebounding the ball. It's just a bad aura around the whole team when your big man's not happy. He's been playing out of his mind the last few games, the first few games of the season. Give him the rock. Let him touch it. Let him feel it. And you asking for him to set a screen at half court, why would you have him go all the way out there knowing he doesn't really have much of a bag to, shoot 3-point shots when he gets the ball right back to you? He can't really dribble in the lane like, has like, handles like that. Let him set the screen at the 3-point line, not the half court line. You're asking him to run entirely too far from the half court all the way to the rim, where that causes turnovers, X, Y, and Z. So I think we fell into that Harden offense yesterday. Norman Powell had 22 shots as well. He had 30 points. Okay, pretty high. I think he shot 11 for 22 from the field yesterday, efficient. So I'm not really tripping about Norm. Continuously, be that firecracker. But James Harden, you better feed the hand that feeds you. Because while people saying Zubac's making Harden look good, Harden making Zubac look good, Zubac makes Harden look good and gets all them damn assists. But you don't want to give him the basketball. You want to keep shucking up threes. Stop doing that. Let's talk about also what I just mentioned, KPJ. KPJ had, I think, 11 shots in 15 minutes. He shot 5 for 11, which is, better. He had 5 turnovers in 15 minutes. See, watching the game and vice versa, looking at the stat sheet are two totally different things. KPJ has to, this is my thing I told y'all, I said before, I'm giving KPJ a month to get it right. We're in the 4th game of the season, and some people are already asking for Jordan Miller to come in the game. I'm not at that point right now. Here's the thing. Jordan Miller, what y'all seen in preseason is really what all you really had a chance to, see in his resume. Jordan Miller's resume is full with preseason and G League accomplishments. But based off of what we've been seeing from Kevin Porter Jr., he's averaged 19 points in the NBA. Right? So Jordan Miller, for y'all to say that Jordan Miller is the answer, just take KPJ out. I think you're going to see that, when you put guys who came out the G League on the roster and the rotation against starting fives and real bench players outside of the preseason, where it's more so guys who are trying to get a contract in the NBA, and guys are going to probably get bounced back to overseas or get bounced back to the G League, it's a different level of competition. So when you put Jordan Miller in the same position as KPJ as the backup point guard, you guys might want to be careful what y'all wish for, because you might say, well, he's not ready yet. Again, Jordan Miller ain't really had no real time in the NBA to really gel and really kind of get accustomed to the league. Kevin Porter Jr., regardless of him being on the Houston Rockets, did average 19 points and played up against real NBA talent. The talent's there, the size is there, the aggressiveness is there, the skill is there. But I'll tell you what's something that's not there. The IQ ain't there, and that probably plays attention because he ain't really played a much high-level basketball as of late. But even then, that's still an issue when you talk about Kevin Porter Jr., because you brought him in here to score, and he's giving you single-digit points, and he's turned the ball over, and he's not having a high amount of assists during these games, beating out his assists. His turnovers are outlasting his assists. That's a problem. You got 5 turnovers, and you got 2-3 assists. That's a problem. You can't be doing that as the point guard. You need to know what your role is. If your role is to come in the second unit and be behind James Harden, you need to know how to read the defense, not turn the ball over, take smart, efficient shots, use your size and your quickness and your craftiness and being a left-hander to get the shots that you want, instead of over-dribbling the ball in and out and then just pretty much giving the ball right back to the offense. Because that's what the complaint is about KPJ. He's giving the ball right to the opposing team if he turns it over. So I'm not too concerned too much about KPJ outside of that, but I'm going to give him a month. If he don't get his stuff together and get his act together, which is plenty of time for him to be on the court, send him down the bench. And then who you ask me to put him in for, I wouldn't even say Jordan. I'll say Bones Highland. Because Bones Highland, for intents and purposes, people forget, he can score the basketball at a high rate. He has given the Clippers high scoring games. In the NBA, again, in the NBA, not in the G League, in the NBA, we've seen Bones Highland have 20, 25-point games, 30-point games. He's came in and been the guy as a starter for the Clippers. So you can't add Jordan Miller in front of Bones when Jordan Miller hasn't even proven that. Bones is already in the 8-ball as it is. So I would rather put him and give him the time other than, Jordan Miller, who's really what y'all call a G League standout. Okay? But that's on the Clippers. But like I said, KPJ, get it together. There's something else I wanted to mention too. The last play of the game, James Harden throws the inbounds pass to Ivica Zubac. DeAndre Ayton intercepts it. This is why I say it's going to be kind of a problem here on out without Kawhi. We don't really have a consistent closer. They drew a play up last night, Norman Powell said, where they were trying to either get the ball to Zubac, or Norman Powell's going to curl around and get the ball from James Harden and then try to go on an ISO downhill play against his opponent. That was the play. And obviously it didn't work. Last year, when we had Paul George and even Kawhi, well, I'll say more so Paul George, that's what you have him in those situations for, because there's going to be a lot of these close games. You need somebody to close. This is the second time that didn't happen. Against Phoenix, we didn't have nobody to close, and against Portland, we didn't have nobody to close. We're not blowing teams out. They're close-knit games, so you need players to be able to close these games and win them for you. James Harden obviously didn't do it against Phoenix. He's missing and that's another thing too, missing all these free throws. Zubac missed 2 free throws in a row. James Harden splits a free throw. Like, y'all are missing free throws, and Harden did the same thing against Phoenix. He split free throws that we could have got a chance to, go up and, win in overtime. So Paul George is known for them situations where he can come and hit big shots or game-winning shots. Against Golden State last year, he hit that key 3-point shot in LA. Against Cleveland, he closed out that game against Cleveland where he crossed up Evan Mobley, made him fall, and hit that mid-range jumper. You got against the Lakers last year, where he sent the Lakers and us in overtime at the beginning of the year, where he had 38. Like, time and time, situation after situation, where we had a closer in Paul George. He's no longer here. Kawhi Leonard's on the bench, or he's not playing. So you don't really have who you gonna go to give the ball to. You're gonna try to put the ball in Norman Powell's hand. That's what y'all try to do, but he ain't. Has he had a game-winning shot? I don't know if Norman Powell's had a game-winning shot. But that's the problem we're gonna run into. Zubac is a good option throughout the game, but I don't want him closing because he can't hit free throws. You don't want to give the ball to a guy who can't make free throws, because they're gonna pretty much, there's a chance you're gonna be put on the line. And then James Harden, he's doing so much throughout the duration of the game. His legs are going where it's going to be hard for him to hit shots down the stretch of games. He's having to facilitate. He's having to play 35 to 40 minutes a game. He's not known for a guy who's close games at this point of his career. It's a tough thing for him to do, to be able to close games consistently. So who you gonna give the ball to? Derrick Jones Jr., Terrence Mann, Chris Dunn. Like, who you gonna give the ball to close games? Shout out to Amir Coffey, too, who played well as well. Like I told y'all, he needs to be starting. Terrence Mann, also another person, too. Hey, this might be my last thing. T-Man had 19 points yesterday. They are slowly lowering Terrence Mann's minutes down right now, because I saw Derrick Jones, Zubac, Harden, and Norman Powell getting 30-plus minutes. Terrence Mann got 19 minutes yesterday. Amir Coffey played more minutes than him. If Terrence Mann does not get his act together, he will lose his starting spot to either Amir Coffey or Chris Dunn. He's going to lose his spot when Kawhi Leonard comes back, in my personal opinion. I think Norman Powell has locked up the starting spot over Terrence Mann. If y'all want me to be completely honest. Terrence Mann has fell out the starting rotation. He better get his act together, or else he's going to be out the rotation for good. But until next time, we respectfully say, pull up the seat, pull up the chair, pull it loud. Peace. Out of here like Slim Wow.